right, today I'm looking for an article to read. It's about a new launch coming up. There we go. Laroche Drakkar Intense. Let's read the article. It's by Sanja Pekić. Laroche Drakkar Intense. It's new fragrances. This article was released on January 24th, 2022. Look at that. Yeah, I'm looking at the new ad, and it's looking pretty nice. There's a lemon in there. It's got a really interesting orange color. There's a little herb, vanilla. Nice. That looks like one of those kind of like coffee things when you leave it in there too long. All right, let's get to Sanja Pekić's article on it. In 2022, the French fashion house of Guy Laroche launches Drakkar Intense. The original came out back in 1972, but the greatest success was Drakkar Noir, which became very popular in the 1980s. Drakkar is a word that dates back to Viking times, and it refers to a dragon. There's Drakkar Intense. Check it out. The new Drakkar Intense is announced as a powerful and irresistible fragrance that embodies the excitement brought by danger. The fragrance deepens the fougere composition of the original with warm, ambery accords symbolizing the element of fire. Sharp notes of bergamot open the composition, while aromatic sage, warm suede, and vanilla provide it with sensuality. Let's read the notes. Top is bergamot, wormwood, coriander, and rosemary. The heart consists of lavender, clary sage, juniper berries. At the base, we have patchouli, vanilla, suede, and moss. The creator of the bottle is Pierre Dinand. Guy Laroche Drakkar Intense is available as 50 and 100 ml eau de parfum. That's very interesting. Here is our author, Sanja Pekić, editor, writing, and translator. Sanja Pekić is a Fragrantica editor from Sarajevo, Bosnia, and Herzegovina. She has joined the team in 2008 to update and maintain encyclopedia information, as well as work on perfume news. Sanja is passionate about fashion and martial arts, and may I add that she has very fabulous hair. Look at that. It's great. All right. I want to read some of the comments that people are making. So let's go from the oldest to new this time. Okay, this is for Guy Laroche Drakkar Intense. Texas Collector 2020 said, "This is the last designer release I was expecting, but I'm genuinely interested to smell it to see how it compares to the original." Smells Bells said, "Wow, maybe its power will be amped up?" VIP Men commented, "You know, Gent Sense is shaking right now." Here's old Mac 7. "Original made my eyes water. It was so bad. But as mentioned below, actually am curious how this one smells." Smiley face. You. Funny guy. Keeman said, "We'll see about this one. Cashing in on nostalgia is all the rage at the moment." And I would agree. But hopefully it's, something worthwhile. Jay Relkin said, "When and where will this be available?" Olympi said, It is kind of fun to see this kind of legendary fragrance relaunch, but the reality here is, unless they do something actually bold, like move production and sale of this fragrance outside of the EU and give the IFRA the middle finger, this fragrance will be destined to be a disappointment to anyone who has any familiarity with the original. There's no way to recreate true bold fragrances like what Drakkar Noir was inside the current EU regulations. Forgive me for being pessimistic, but I am fairly certain that this scent is either going to have no lasting power, which is an insult to what made Drakkar Noir famous in the first place, or it is going to be an unpleasant synthetic nightmare. Despite what Givaudan and Firmenich and the rest have to promise, the reality is their synthetic replacements and ambroxan and ethyl maltol overdoses will never be as good as the original materials they worked so hard to make illegal for safety. Leroy Stanks Dunn said, "A lot of people are going to be disappointed when they realize this is a Drakkar flanker, not another Drakkar Noir." We will see. Cloud 57 said, "No tonka bean, but then there's clary sage and juniper berries, the standard for all generic fragrances." Drugstore Classics said, "Curious, sometimes tells me it will be sweeter than the original." MK Punk, "This sounds awesome. I hope it lives up to the hype. The color seems off for what it is, though." Ronan Moon said, "Drakkar Noir started it all. Freshman year of high school, my girlfriend and I used to swim in it. We sprayed our clothes, beds, entire bedrooms, backpacks. We went through a bottle a week. Crazy." This is cool because nostalgia, but real oak moss is gone, and designer fragrances now are so thin with quality ingredients and so thick with chemical fixatives. Oh boy. Hovis Leslie said, "I definitely didn't see this coming, and at a time when I understand other classics from the late 80s, such as Obsession for Men, are being finished off entirely. Who knew we needed an intense version of Drakkar?" That's a good point. Mysteries du Chateau d'Ide. "Sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I concur with Olympi. It might be an interesting clubber for today, but it won't be anything like Drakkar because Drakkar today isn't much like Drakkar. What a pity." Novo Scentologist said, "It is a modified intense version of the original and not an EDP version of Drakkar Noir. In other words, similar to what was done to Jupe Home and Jupe Home Perfume or Davidoff Coolwater Perfume, more flanker than amplified version of the original." Chanel de Lanvin, Perfumery adopts the same practices as cinema. A film very appreciated by people and cashiers. They redo us a sequel. Even if the first was not particularly good. Oh, you hating. Did we seriously ask for these sequels? I did. Maybe for some, but not for others. It's the same with perfumes. We bring out an old recipe and relaunch it with a catchy definition, but no longer with the same ingredients. Soon we will see perfumes like intense extract of sublime perfume elixir. Okay. Good point. Jeff and Goldie too. "I absolutely love the original. Without the oak moss though, I just cannot imagine it being as fantastic." Genghis Molinet said, "Firstly, I'd like to clarify Drakkar Noir isn't the original. In fact, it's a flanker of Drakkar from 1972. I will definitely smell this new one, but it looks like it might just be another sweet crowd-pleasing snooze fest. I hope I'm proven wrong." Signor Lancetti said, "I had a blind purchase I had blind purchased a flacon of Drakkar years ago, not Drakkar Noir, the OG Drakkar. Waited over a month for it to arrive from Greece to be greeted by a nauseating composition that reeked of a stale ashtray. What's wrong with that? I hated it, and I love some wonderful 70s and 80s creations. Frankly, I found the odor moderately bizarre in nature, more like a smell of someone's house who smokes heavily, not something that you would wear on your skin. The original Drakkar from 1972 is a nasty little stinker. Oh, and the opening, though, was beautiful until a few hours later. Stale cigarette butts and filthy ashtrays for days. So that being said, this newly renovated flanker I'm certain will suck. Not that I have any desire to smell it, but the way the perfume industry has gone these past few years, I can only bet how synthetic this will be. If you desire to smell the original Drakkar from 1972 without any degradation from decades of storage, the awesome house of Ajmal has recreated it almost perfectly to a T. This perfume goes by the name of Oath of Men. I blind bought that only to discover in mere seconds that it was nearly a carbon copy of Drakkar. I died. Rest in peace. And Nick Z says, this sounds as generic as they come. I'm optimistic for it. That's my own personal opinion. I have a clone of the original Drakkar. I got it from Family Dollar. And I really dig the old school smell of that. I've never smelled the original 1972 Drakkar. I've smelled Drakkar Noir. It's pretty awesome, I think, in my opinion. And I think the clone of the Drakkar 1972 is old school. I do kind of get a cigarette butt smell, and I kind of like that because it just gives me that kind of like cool 70s sleaze. I like it. All right. Let's hope that this new Drakkar Intense is intense. The other ones from back in the day were intense, so let's just hope this keeps up with that tradition. Thank you. Like, subscribe, come on back. Thank you. Goodbye.